Well, there's a toast to 600 episodes of the Gratura Love Show, ladies and gentlemen. And how are you guys doing on this wonderful Wednesday, September 21st, 2022, in the year of our Lord? Gosh. Go away says yay. And there's 0 people watching. Let's see. All right, now there's some people showing up. I'm going to put the link in the comments section in case anyone would like to come on in the big 600th anniversary party. 600 years of the Gratura Love Show, ladies and gentlemen. Started back in the Middle Ages. Well, last episode ended abruptly, ladies and gentlemen. I was in the middle of showing you things, and the memory on the phone was exhausted. So let's see what I was showing you last time. Yeah, we were going through Erie Publications, and I was almost finished, but not quite. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Thank you. Gotham City Comics says hello. It says construction is going well at our new trade building. Cool. As Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona is expanding to a new building. I don't know. Yeah, some of those Golden Age Western comics that you've gotten in at Gotham City Comics, I'm very interested in. Maybe in a little bit, I'm going to show some of the paintings that I want to get rid of. Not that they're bad paintings, it's just that they're paintings I need to get rid of. So maybe if you want to trade for any other paintings for comics, that would be great. Let me put on my reading glasses. We were looking at some, I was alphabetizing and putting in chronological order some, yes, Erie Publications. Here's Witch's Tales. February 1972. If you guys want to know the real roots of EC Comics and a lot of the stuff we love, you need to go back to old-time radio shows, which are what Feldstein and Gaines listened to when they were little. And because old shows like The Inner Sanctum, yeah, and these are available on YouTube for free. Inner Sanctum, Suspense, and The Witch's Tale, which is right out of it's basically the old witch. Inner Sanctum. They all had horror hosts. That Raymond, I think, was the host that introduced Inner Sanctum, and so anyway, the EC horror comics were very inspired by the old radio shows. But listen to The Witch's Tale. That was an early one from the 30s. Let's see, what are people saying here? Forrest Jackson, the noted Arkham House H.P. Lovecraft authority, says, honk twice if you love Carol Borland. Honk twice. Let's see. Yes, indeed. Yes. And Go Away says, hello, Mr. Orloff. I love all those shows. Yes, Raymond. And then there's a bunch of eyeballs and a sideways skull, light bulb, possibly. All right. So, what was my point? Anyway, The Witch's Tale was a old radio show, but this one's called Witch's Tales. And of course, these magazines are all directly inspired by EC. You know, this is from February '72, 20 years after EC. Look at these great ads. Now, this is the Gale House, the one from Gale House. This record, you can get all these records off of YouTube. So this record you could have ordered for $1 back then. So look for just type in Gale House horror record, what a haunting record. But there's another one that came from Johnson Smith, and that's the one that was used in the animated version of these covers that was done by Jason Willis. And you can get a Venus flytrap. I used to have one of those. Someone commented something. What is this? I want that record. Yeah, I want it too, but at least you can listen to it on YouTube. The Hungry Ghoul. So yes, Forrest Jackson is a big fan of Carol Borland, as everyone. Oh, look, House of the Vampire. I was saying last episode that I don't think there was any nudity in these, but I guess I'm wrong. Yeah, look, because she's clearly a vampire without any clothes on. I'm sure that Forrest is paying attention right now. Yes, there she is. And there's someone. You can tell this. Look at this guy. Look at this guy here, right there. Shit. Everything's backwards on StreamYard. Can't tell. This guy right. God damn it. This guy right here. You can tell he voted for Joe Biden. Absolutely. Raymond, the host of Inner Sanctum, used to rib Mary, the Lipton soup lady. She would react when he would make things extra horrible just for her. Yeah, because Inner Sanctum was sponsored by Lipton soup. Anyway, I don't know. Is she? I don't know if she's naked or not, or just wearing a skin-tight suit like a superhero. I don't know. Anyway, this is the wonderful Witch's Tales, February 1972 issue. Look at all the wonderful things you could get. The stiletto switchblade. You can even get a silencer for your gun. That's nice. Lots of different guns you can get. Yes, indeed. Volume 4, number 1. Okay, so that's Witch's Tales. I'm trying to get these alphabetized. Weird. Okay, Witch's Tales goes after weird. Oh, here's a very good cover. Witch's Tales from July of 1973. This would have been on sale right when I was about to start 3rd grade. The Mud Creatures and the Fiend from the Outside. So, how far away Gotham City Comics is your new store? How far do you have to transport? Because moving comic book boxes is no fun. Trust me. I mean, I moved 36 last week back behind me, and that was not fun. Oh, look at that. Uh, that looks like the Vault Keeper, doesn't it? That looks completely stolen from. Oh, you ever see the Vault Keeper in a swimsuit? Mastodon Comics and Music. That's how it goes at Gratu. Gotham City, only a half mile away, but I'm still not looking forward to moving all those books. Man, if I lived in Mesa, Arizona, I'd help you move. I'd be the greatest employee. It's a little bit of a commute, man. Shit. I wish you'd open a store up here and I could manage it or something, man. I need a side hustle, but I'm gonna try to start selling paintings to people. But I mean, I'm just waiting on something. I've got something kind of lined up. I shouldn't have to have any thing like that, but Joe Biden has made it where the retirement just doesn't quite cut it. Why would Joe Biden do that? Mastodon Comics and Music, are you a store or is that just your YouTube handle? The Mud Creatures, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh. You know, if you were a kid back then, look at this shit. You could have a Raquel Welch pillow. You could have this King Kong poster on your wall. I mean, what a shame that things just my YouTube handle. That's cool. Because that's a great name for a store. This is July 73. They don't have numbers on the front of these books, so you kind of have to put them in the box by the month and year. Or you actually don't even have to do that. Depends on, but let's see. This one, someone sold it for 30 cents once. It was originally 60 cents. Let me see what people are saying here. Do you have a full run of any of the Erie titles? I don't think so. November 1973. This is just what I found over the years. I haven't bought any of these. Oh man, there's some that are not in here because I bought about 4 or 5 of them at some Gothic convention right before the pandemic, and one of them has the hippie protesters. That's in another box somewhere. So this is not all of my Erie publications, but at least I know I'm missing some here. So anyway, November is at the end of the year. July, then November. Okay. March of 74. Let's see what are people saying here. Christopher Schneider says, happy 600th episode, Gratu. I kind of cheated by doing several episodes today to get to 600. It's kind of like when Forrest J. Ackerman wanted to get to, issue 100 of Famous Monsters. And it's like, well, I can get there a year earlier if I just, because in the mid 60s, Famous Monsters had a companion magazine called Monster World. And I think they put out about maybe 10, 12 issues. So Forrest Ackerman just says, well, we're going to count those issues of Monster World as part of the numbering of Famous Monsters. And then, surprise, we're up to issue 100 and I can do the big exciting 100th issue. Yeah, that's okay. July, March 73, March 74. Okay, it goes there. Well, that's all the Erie publications that are in this box. I've got some other. Now, this was a contemporary of the Erie publications. These were Skywald, published by Israel Waldman and Herschel Waldman. So the Wald was Waldman, and then the Sky was something. Anyway, the cover artist is Ken Kelly, You know him from painting the Kiss album covers, and he did a lot of great covers for Warren. But anyway, Warren had the success. This is one of the imitators of the Warren company, and the art looks very Spanish. It looks very much like it's from the Spanish. That's what a lot of Warren did that too. They would get these illustrators over in Europe cheaply, and they would illustrate. Little text feature on Theater of Blood, the Vincent Price movie. The truth behind the myths about bats, particularly vampire bats. I was thinking about bats this morning while I was taking a shower. I was thinking about how they're often demonized. There's a little baby bat that was in the house about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I managed to capture him or her or them. I don't know its pronouns. I don't want to misgender the little fucker. I took him or her outside and let it go. But anyway, bats are supposed to be the ones. No, they're not the ones that started AIDS. What was the story Fauci came up with when he invented AIDS? He said people were having sex with monkeys, right? In reality, he invented it. And then this last time he invented something, he said it was because people in China were eating bats. Yeah. And people believe that. This is, I'm sorry, I don't want to give misinformation. It's October 73, Nightmare. This is the weird creeping death issue. Anyway, bats get a bad rap. They're actually kind of cute, Nightmare. Okay, so I need to get these in alphabetical order too. So that's October 73. The problem with these imitators of Warren is they don't put numbers on them. They have volume numbers and all that. But so you just go by the month and the year. Here's another great cover for Nightmare. Love Witch and the Living Dead. There's a horror movie called The Love Witch that's made to look like a 70s horror movie. My wife really liked that. This is the cover painting for the January 72 issue of a dynamic, most powerful horror magazine, Psycho. See, they're trying to be a little more sophisticated than the Eerie publications. Don't miss it. You'll enjoy the brilliance of the greatest artists and writers in today's terror field. Eerie publications doesn't brag about their artists and writers and about the great painting you'll get on the cover of the next issue. They don't. Well, maybe, let's see. Wait, people are talking here. I missed a bunch of comments. I got into collecting comic magazines a couple years ago. Maybe someday I'll read all the ones I have. Why don't you do a show? Do you do shows, Mastodon? Skywald was second to Warren, in my opinion. Last Avenger 85. What I liked about Skywald, too, is they would review the latest horror movies at the time. And then Marvel was doing these, too. I forgot about that. So I think Marvel... You think Marvel might have been ahead of Skywald, or you think they're about equal, or you think well, you just told me they're better. Let's see, because everybody was imitating Warren. There was Marvel, Atlas did for a brief while, the imitator of Marvel, and there was Skywald, Horror Mood, and there was Eerie Publications. Mastodon says those Nightmare Mags have awesome covers. Forrest says, that was a full-size bat that you set loose in Mount Gratu, not a baby bat. I know these things because I'm batty. Was it full-size? I expect bats to be giant from, watching Hammer movies. I don't know. I haven't been around a lot of real bats. Anyway, there's been no sign of bats since then. Still don't know how the guy got in here. This is December 71. This is October 73. Oh, let me show these paintings. Anyway, what was I? Oh, here. Okay, so I showed these at the end of the last episode. This is a Wolfman painting I did. This is not one I want to sell. This one I was kind of proud of at the time. I'm not great. I can see how I went in there with a felt tip and did little bits of detail. But it's just, stuff I got at, the art supply store. I paint with acrylic. I did this. It says that light rain is about to start soon. About that. So anyway, this was done about, I'd say, 12 years ago, whatever. And this is a painting of Vampira. And I like this one too. I just haven't framed it yet. It's only taken me about 12 years. Eventually I'll frame it. But anyway, I'm about to start taking commissions, and I will work for money or I will work for trade. If you've got Silver Age comics or monster magazines I don't have, something I'll swap with you. This is not quite as good, but it's one of Carolyn Jones, Morticia, of course. One I need to do. I was going to have my friend Joe Riley do it for me, but that never happened, and he passed away. But I wanted him to do a big painting of Princess Dragon Mom from Inframan, and it never happened. Maybe someday soon I'll do a painting of Princess Dragon Mom. Here is the lady from Blood of Dracula. These are not paintings I'm selling, but I could probably do some painting like it if you were to commission it. Okay, so here are the paintings I'm trying to get rid of. I wrote number 1 on this, so if you want painting, let's see, Gotham City Comics, I like that Wolfman, he says, pop up, okay. Okay, hold on. Last Avenger, that's very good, Grotto, I don't know which one. Thank you, though. Mastodon says, I have some more of the Marvel graphic novel videos coming. That's a series I've been working through. Okay. Yes. I like that Wolfman. Cool. So you're doing videos about the Marvel graphic novels here on YouTube? Okay, this is a girl in another part of the country that I was talking to on the internet over a decade ago, long before I met my wife, and I didn't ever actually even meet her, but I was doing these paintings for her, and things did not work out. And now I've got these paintings, and it's like, well, I put some amount of work into that painting. Do I throw it out? But these have been sitting in the garage back in the old country, and they're still in the garage here. I just need to get rid of them because or I need to paint over them. But if you want them, this is an Orion slave girl, but it's not the one that Susan Oliver from The Cage, because I painted someone else's face there. So, you want I could probably repaint the face and keep it, or, make it look like the real actress, or if you want this is painting number 1. It's kind of an auction here. That's that. I'll put that over here. Painting 1. Here is painting 2. This is if no one wants, I'll just repaint this because I think it's pretty good. It's I painted her in as the Bride of Frankenstein, so it's Bride of Frankenstein, but it's kind of off because it's not exactly Bride of Frankenstein. It's like whatever. That's painting 2. This is painting 3. Go Away says, I knew Vampiro. We used to hang out in Hollywood and make jewelry together. Cool. Yeah, my friend Tom helped her move once. I remember him telling me that story that, That's pretty cool. Go away. You got a lot of stories. Memorabilia collector says that number 2 looks good as it is. Okay, this is number 3. This is the creature from the Black Lagoon. It's not very good, is it? With that girl there, with her tattoo. So that's 3. I still have a couple of her necklaces. I meant number 2. Oh, okay. This one's actually pretty good. I did a couple of these. Shit. Oh, man. This one's got her name on it. You probably should cover that part off. Up. Okay, this one's 4. Or this one, the next one does. This is a creature from the Black Lagoon with her face. It's, oh my God. It's actually kind of cool, the colors. I think I based it on a wallet that you could buy of the creature from the Black Lagoon from the 60s. That's number 4. This is number 5, based on a wallet you could buy back in the 60s of Dracula. I'll just kind of cover up the name. Anyway, it's just her as Dracula. You know, it's cool, but it's not. It's there's nothing I can do with it. That's number 5. Number 6. This is made to look like a freak show banner. So, it's based on Moonbeam McSwine. That's number 6. The hell? This one, number 7. Let me go through these quick. Shit, motherfucker. So, you know, I can also just use these to keep warm this winter. Create a bonfire. Because there's no telling when Joe Biden will turn off our power. What was that, 7? Okay, so this will be 8. Anyway, if I can make some money from these or get some good trades, that's cool. Or I can take commissions and I can just paint right over these. You know, that's no problem. This is number 8. It's a lot of these fucking things. This on the back says July 2010. I'll give you an idea of when I was done. This is number 9. That's pretty shitty. Very outsider art. Not one of my better words. So this would be number 10. Nobody's commenting, so I don't think these are. We called her Helen. Vampira, I guess. Huh. So this is number 10. Get through these quick so I can get back to the damn comic books, man. That was, what was that, 10? This will be number 11. Okay, this is Buster Keaton with the girl. She admired Buster Keaton. Memorabilia collector says, I like all of them so far. Uh, 12. good, is it? I never said I was Ken Kelly or Frazetta or anybody like that. What was that? I have don't have very good short-term memory. All right. Here's number 13. It's a lot of these fucking things. So I kind of got mad at that friend of mine in Canada when he was simping for some. I've had an experience in the past with this shit. Like I was trying to say, hey, we'll listen. 14. She's put in there as Morticia. So, or it could just be an Addams Family picture where Morticia's kind of not quite Carolyn Jones. That's 14. I could easily just retouch it and turn her into Carolyn Jones, but do I really? I know I have some paint and brushes, but so maybe I could do that if someone doesn't want this. So that was what, 14? Here's 15, where her head is now on Yvonne DiCarlo's head. That's 15. Here's 16. Her head is on Lily Munster again. I probably should just retouch. I mean, if you want it great, otherwise I could repaint it. That's kind of cool the way she's touching his electrode. 16. 17, dated July 2010. That's 12 years ago, man. Another picture. It's another painting, man. 17. We're almost done with this shit. Damn it. 18. This is dated August 7th, 2010. I did these things real quick. It's like in just a few hours. That's why they look so shitty. 18. Okay. This one, some of the paint's come off because I had it out in the garage. I guess it got sticky with another paint. Oh, shit. August 2010. 18. 19. Buy my paintings, motherfuckers. It's another painting where I guess she's in hell. 20. Maybe she'll come on and buy the paintings. That's fine with me. What the fuck? This is a cover up her name. So I painted her on the cover of Famous Monsters. That's number 20. But this is the world's worst auction. Known as yeah, what do you want for shit? Bunch of crap. 21. I paid $5.99 just for the fucking canvas. This is her. Booberry is crowning her queen. Shit, fucking. What was I smoking, man? Shit. Okay, that was motherfucking 21. This is motherfucking 22. Just need to clean and press them, man. They'll be fine. They'll be 9.8s, man. This has gotten a little dirty. There's a little bit of smudging on her nose. This is a 22. Take this shit from me, man. Nothing I can do with it. We don't have a fireplace, so I can't burn it. And then I did a painting because this person liked Morrissey. I never have cared about Morrissey. They tried to explain to me, or they listen to me. She tried to explain to me about Morrissey, and okay, well, it's cool that he hates everybody. I like that about him, but that's kind of like music for girls. Where the fuck? Oh, this. I remember, we were breaking up, but she wanted this, she's like, I'll pay you for it, but did she ever materialize? Anyway. I painted Morrissey as like a saint or Jesus or something. It's kind of blasphemous, but if you got if you like Morrissey, you got some significant other that likes Morrissey. I think people have said they like this one. So that was 22. So I'll call this one 23. So I don't know. My wife was saying, you could put that one on eBay. Does it look like Morrissey? I don't know. I spent some time trying to make it look like him. I don't know. Not someone I ever really knew much about. The Cure and Morrissey were bands that's like, that's girl music. But my wife has explained to me and shown me that the Cure is actually good. We went to see a movie, like a live concert right before the pandemic. It was like a 3-hour movie at the AMC theater. It was like a live show. And it's like the Cure is, I don't know about the Smiths. I'm sure they're wonderful. I missed almost all of them, so I'll go back later and see them. Yeah, because you're actually working in your store. Okay, enough of that shit. But I can do any kind of painting. Well, monsters are better because if you mess up on a monster, you can't really. They're supposed to be ugly. Okay, I was doing Nightmare. Anyway, here's another copy of Nightmare. Yes, a Skywalled horror mood publication. February 1974. See some of these other publications. They have more nudity on the cover. Eerie Publications, well, they had kind of a lot of cleavage, but they never just had like a complete naked person on the cover. I don't think so. The Vampire Beast Stalks Out of Hell. Vampire Interview with Christopher Dracula Lee. The Lunatic Creations of Edgar Allan Poe. So this is a magazine you can read in English class because it's all about Edgar Allan Poe. Kids today, if you mention Edgar Allan Poe, would have no idea who that is. But back in the old days, Edgar Allan Poe was, every horror movie was like, Edgar Allan, from the mind of Edgar Allan Poe. And you knew, okay, that's someone that's cool. Okay, that's Nightmare. Okay. Nightmare. I got to find some books to show tonight. For the Four Color Fossil show. Memorabilia says he'd like to get 2 and 6. The only song that I like from the Smiths is How Soon Is Now. The rest were meh. I don't know that song, but I'm sure it's good. Um, let's see. Okay, so also from the makers of Nightmare was Psycho. I always like the logo of Psycho. This company had great covers. Um, I mean, I guess they compare very favorably with Warren. Really, the thing that Warren had. Yeah, I mean, it compares pretty favorably with Warren. One thing that Warren had was Richard Corbin's art. That was wonderful, and they had guys that had worked for EC. But I think the thing that I really liked about Warren were all the ads in the back. They had good 20 pages, it seemed like, of ads in the back of every issue. And they were all for every kind of horror merchandise that you could possibly get. Okay. N comes before P. Let's see here. Here's another issue of Psycho. Let's see here. Special origin of Count Dracula, Lord of the Living Dead. See, this book had Dracula as a, and then Marvel had Dracula in Dracula Lives and Vampire Tales, but this is a different take on Dracula. And it's like, why are two magazines having Dracula at the same? Well, because Dracula isn't copywritten. It's so anyway. So like they've got. Hold on, I can't see the picture. See, they've got Lady Satan, the son of Lord Lucifer. Okay, so as opposed to Marvel would have the son of Satan, and Satana was his sister. This is it's very very similar, and the art is wonderful. What did people say? Yeah, man, I forgot about this. Get this stuff. Yeah, it's total Vampirella kind of stuff. But the whole Satan thing was all over the place in these magazines at the time because of The Exorcist coming out. That's completely right from a still of Christopher Lee. Um, so, yeah, this stuff's fun to read. This is kind of Warren-like, where they show all the back issues you can get, and you can even get to have a dignified library and put them in nice slipcases that say "Psycho" and "Nightmare." Right, just very for your library, so you can impress your dates. Right, you've got very sophisticated library. And sometimes they would go into, like that's the Thomas Edison Frankenstein, which at the time in the 70s was thought to be a lost film. And all the books about movies, you would hear that there were no copies of that film in existence. But now you can see it on YouTube. Maybe someday someone will find Theda Bara's Cleopatra or London After Midnight with Lon Chaney. Those are also lost films. Usually, sometimes what happens is those silent films, because they were silent, would work in any country. And so sometimes, they'll find prints that still exist of these movies in countries that have been closed to the West, like maybe in Cuba. There's a print somewhere of London After Midnight it's in some old building or something and nobody knows about. But it's really a damn shame how many of the silent films we've lost. Yeah, well, this is Psycho, July '74. Um, what was that noise? I heard a weird noise, man. Where did that come from? What is that? March '73, July '74. Okay. Okay, let me put the nightmares over here. Oh, here's another copy of that same Psycho. See, this is why I go through these books and I can find what I'm missing. This is a great cover on this issue of Psycho by Boris Vallejo. It's got a little torn thing, so I mean, I could, and it's a little toasty on the back, and it's got the little fold. But if it was cleaned and pressed, I'm sure it would be a 9.8, right? And I could take a cent CGI, man, get rich. The most dynamic new magazine to hit the scene in many, many years. According to the mail received since issue 1 went on sale. Okay, according to the idiots that sent us letters, they don't really have it from New York Times or something. Here's Hellrider, the Zodiac Killers. I have one issue of Hellrider. It's supposed to be the forerunner to Ghost Rider, before Ghost Rider from Gary Friedrich's mind. Exciting, hard-hitting, and very penetrating stories of what's happening today. Brick Reese as the Hellrider really tells it like it is. On sale now, November 1971. Here you can get movie posters, but they don't have enough ads. I know that sounds weird, but if I stumble on a Warren magazine, you probably know how great the ads were in the back. Man, this was fucking great. All these magazines are great. They're all just great in different ways. Look at this. What am I going to show on Graphic Man show tonight? Oh, yeah. See, they have the Heap character from the 50s, possibly late 40s, that was used in this. He was the original swamp creature. Oh, man, this art's great. This has got to be... who did this art? Ralph Reese. Oh, shit. Look at how great this art is. Is that is worthy of being a poster. Psycho Scene. Webster's New World Dictionary describes earthworm, a round segmented worm that burrows in the soil. Above is Webster's description, but below is Wild Bill Everett's version. That's Bill Everett's art, the creator of the Submariner. They misspelled burrows. They wrote it like a donkey. Oh, but what I was talking about, Ralph Reese. Okay. Refresh my memory about Ralph Reese. I got to look him up. Look at this artwork. I'm going to be embarrassed. I should know who Ralph Reese is. Look at this art, man. It's very almost Richard Corbin-like. Let's see. What is going on here? So there were rumors back in June on Facebook that a print of London After Midnight had been found in Australia. I don't know how they found anything in Australia the way they were locked down, but maybe they were locked down. It forced them to go through stuff. It seems like if that was true, that would have gotten to me. What do I know? I live in a bubble. Warren Smith says, "Is that true?" Warren Smith, is he the same guy that did Ubangi Stomp back in the 50s? Rob Brown. Damn, didn't you post a new video this morning and you're going on Four Color Fossils later and you're doing a live stream now? You're a beast, Gratu. LOL. Rob Brown, didn't you play Captain America back in 1978 on television? Was it Rob? Who was that idiot? Sorry, not that you're an idiot, but who was the guy? Hey Siri, who played Captain America in the 1970s? Rob Brown. Yeah, no, that's Reb Brown. See, Reb Brown. Captain America starred Reb Brown. Oh, I have the sound turned down. Captain America starred Reb Brown as the title character with his origin updated to the 1970s rather than the 1940s. Yeah, I remember that. Rob Brown says, haha, that was Reb Brown. I bet you sure. It's a good thing that show didn't become famous, because then everyone would be saying that to you instead of some nerd. The only person in the world that remembers Reb Brown. Boy, those movies were disappointing, weren't they? November 1971, Psycho. Yeah, what is it? 411? And let's see, 411. I got less than 3 hours till the Four Color Fossils television program. I've shown all this shit already on Four Color Fossils. I'm pretty sure. Here's the special all ghoul horror issue. Hey Siri, who was Ralph Reese?
Ralph Reese is an American artist who has illustrated for books, magazines, trading cards, comic books, and comic strips, including a year drawing the Flash Gordon strip for King Features.
Yes, he's a good.
Do you want me to keep reading?
Yes.
Prolific from the 1960s to the 1990s, he is best known for his collaboration with Byron Preiss on the continuing feature 1 Year Affair, serialized in the satiric magazine National Lampoon from 1973 to 1975, and then collected into a 1976 book.
Oh, I think we were talking about Ralph Reese just the other day, because someone was telling me about this 1 Year Affair serial in National Lampoon. I guess I must, or I don't know. Anyway, Ralph Reese, good artist. Damn. Get this ad on the back. Now, this magazine I could find when I was at the PX. This was distributed on armed forces, United States military bases. Those Erie publications were not. I guess different magazines, different companies went through different distributors. I've got heartburn, man. You got a contact in regards to getting a painting drawing of yours. Yeah. Let's see. I guess I could give my phone number. Let me just give you my email. I'll just post it here. I don't care. Yes, it's okay to just give my email. Not that I don't look at it that now. I look at it more now. Well, I guess I'll look at it if people are wanting to. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to. I'm just trying to get by, man. It's I don't want to be moving more into debt each month, and it just seems like this is very European looking. Some of the European art is very scratchy looking like that. I don't really like this. That's about the worst example I've seen of the scratchiness. Usually it's good, but you can just kind of tell when something. This is pretty gruesome, man. Look at this. Look at Joe Biden cutting that guy's head off, man. He said the other night on 60 Minutes, hey, if you think I can't do things, just watch me. Yeah, I can. There he is sniffing somebody and cutting someone's head off. So just, if you don't think, look at that, man. He's totally in shape. Uh, this fucking book. Look at this, man. It's just nonstop. Look, there's somebody being strangled. Holy fucking shit. This is like hilarious how violent this is. Oh, it's a whole bag full of human heads. What is this? Who did this story, man? Who wrote this? The 13 Dead Things. Oh my gosh. It's the the ghouls live inside the special all original all ghoul psycho horror issue. Wow, man. Psycho, November 1973. When I wanted to buy a magazine like this, I would Horror Mike says Psycho is wholesome family entertainment. I would have to like bring it to my mother and say, "Is it okay if I buy this?" And she would flip through it, and sometimes she would allow, very rarely, she would allow me to buy the magazine. Um, this one, if she had flipped through it, I don't think she would have. I don't think I even would have bothered showing that one to her because with that level of violence. But not every issue was as violent as that. November. All right. Psycho. This is one she let me buy. This is not my childhood copy. I don't know what happened to that. I remember it's like, oh, of all the ones she let me buy, this is more. I mean, this cover doesn't have a pretty girl on the cover. It's got like Nancy Pelosi on the cover, right? See, Forrest, that's, I guess, I thought, well, I'm used to seeing bats that big that look like cats or dogs. It's good painting. It's just not a pretty girl. So anyway, I bought this one later. I don't know what happened to my childhood copy. Had 18 people watching about that. But anyway, I guess she flipped through this one and it didn't look too horrifying. Let's take a look. It's got a big text feature on Edgar Allan Poe. Maybe that impressed my mom that it's got a literary. Just look at this fucking art. It's funny. Who did this? Good stuff. The fuck is that sound? Brought to you, if I email you, can I get your mailing address? I want to send you a free comic, one that I wrote and drew in the 1970s Marvel horror tradition. Of course, yeah, I'll send. Yeah, anyone wants to send me free stuff? I'll give you my address. Sure. John Goris. I remember my mom tossing out a copy of Creepy I had as a child. It had a Corbin cover of some buxom babe in a tree getting terrorized by a T-Rex. I don't know how I got it in the first place. Yeah, that was. I remember that one. Yeah, I've got that. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I remember that. I remember getting that at Carswell Air Force Base in Fort Worth, Texas. Anyway, she must have looked through this, and it didn't look. She probably didn't see this guy stabbing himself in the chest. But yeah, it looks very. It's like all about Edgar Allan Poe, but this would be educational. Um, January 74. So usually comics or magazines are dated 2 months in advance. So this is probably around Thanksgiving time of 1973. So this would have been third grade. The little K on there reminds me of the Kmart K there. Damn it. Reminds me of the Kmart logo. Places I used to hate as a kid. that were kind of shitty, like Kmart. Now I'm very nostalgic for them because compared to the horror of today, um, everything back then seems amazing. Uh, Piggly Wiggly, all that. Just hearing the name Piggly Wiggly makes me nostalgic. Okay. This was one I remember seeing at the PX in San Antonio. This cover I always loved. There's the colors of it, so beautiful. I mean, this really is something that should be on the wall back there. The classic creeps. I guess that's supposed to be Dr. Phibes. It looks like it's a little wonky. It's like this is a little bit off, but it's still great. It makes it feel more like it was painted on the side of a Funhouse Dark Ride. Are you kidding? Horror Mike says, "Are you kidding? Kmart was awesome. They had Super 8 movies and Super 8 film stock you could buy to make your gruesome little flicks." Hello, yeah, it was great. I loved it. I love it. I mean, I remember the Super 8 and all that there. It was, but I didn't appreciate it. I guess is what I'm saying. Now I appreciate it compared to Walmart supermarket. Compared to Walmart, it's like, wow, that Kmart. I remember like that was so great. But I didn't appreciate it. I just thought this is some low rent store. But yeah, they had those films for sure. Were you making horror, Mike? Were you making films when you were a kid with Super 8 and 8 millimeter? And if so, why don't you put them on YouTube? I loved watching people's horror monster movies, whatever they did when they were kids. March 73, September, October, November 73. Anyone want to come on? Here's the yes, indeed. Let's see. I'm post the link again if anyone wants to come on. This is the issue of the Slither Slime Man. The creep who slithers half dead, half buried into graves he doesn't own, to defile bodies he doesn't know. His filthy, age-matted fingers grab the earth, tear at the coffins underneath, rip up a crumbling skull, and horribly display it for you. Let him slide into your horror mood. Yeah, this is the night of the slithering dead. I think they were drunk or something when they wrote all these captions. Look at this. Oh, look at that guy on that reminds me of Spain Rodriguez's art on Trash Man. They're advertising probably the only two issues that ever were made of Hellrider and Crime Machine. So they even did a crime comic like that was popular in the 50s. Oh yeah, I remember this. This is a corpse that it's kind of a sad story. This corpse that gets looking at a little flower. See, there's Joe Biden arriving for the Queen's funeral. They made him sit like 40 rows back. Did you see that? But we don't talk about politics here on the Grouch Warlow show. Yeah, this is a little dead guy. He's the hero of the story. Psycho. Oh, actually, I have a number on this one. Psycho number 9. Thank you, Psycho number 9. You are November 72. Got November 71, November 72. I got lots of Thanksgiving issues. If I start making some money from paintings, my wife will be very happy. All original giant horror annual. That fucking I hate. Um, there's a guy in Texas that's he's like this old punk rocker that rides around on a skateboard, and people think he's the new John F. Kennedy. His name is, and he, what's his fucking name? Uh, he tries to use a Spanish name. He said, "Well, I went to school in El Paso, and all my friends called me this nickname." What is it? What is his fucking name again? I can't remember it. He had Beto O'Rourke. Beta, Beto O'Rourke, because his name is Robert Francis O'Rourke. But he figures if I call myself Beto O'Rourke, all these people that don't watch the news or anything are going to say, yeah, let's vote for the Hispanic guy, and they'll think he's Hispanic. Of course, he isn't. Beto O'Rourke, yeah. I call him, I forgot his name because I always call him Pancho McGillicuddy, because McGillicuddy is about the most Irish name you can think of, and then you put Pancho in front of it. I was joking about that with my wife. My wife is her first language is Spanish. She thought that was funny because he's just there to fool people. But anyway, I hate everything about him. But he was giving a speech the other day. He says, "When I become governor, I'm going to raise the teacher retirement amount all the way high." And it's like, well, that's great. I can't vote for you, and I would never vote for you. But sure, do that, man, because I'm sick of being fucking poor. I was a retired teacher in Texas, and yeah, bring that money out. Of course, where's that money going to come from? You know, so it's like, yeah, Joe Biden's going to pay. I'm going to pay off your $20,000 for every person college, and we'll just make those people that never went to college pay for it for you. You know. 1972 Psycho annual. Burn Baby Burn. This is before that Disco Inferno song, but they used to say "Burn Baby Burn" during the riots in the late 60s. Okay, look at this nice illustration. Beto O'Rourke, he was doing the Emilio Estevez thing. Oh, wait, I missed a comment from John Goris. Did you ever see Mario Bava's Diabolic? Yes. It was based on the Italian comic. Mystery Science Theater 3000 roasted it back in the day. But it's one of my favorite comic book movies. That and Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, it was cool. It had cool music. Mystery Science Theater is funny. I initially hated it because in the 80s, VHS, it would, you would trade with friends VHS movies. Some movie would get aired in England or get aired in California, and you're in Texas, and then you trade with someone for these movies, because I was trying to get Mamie Van Doren movies because I really like Mamie Van Doren, and I was trying to get horror movies that had never been run locally. But anyway, there's all this VHS trading. All right, so one of the movies I was trying to get, I don't remember what it was called. I think it was a Mamie Van Doren Girls in Prison movie. So I saw, oh, it's listed on television. They're going to run it. And it was on, I think it was on the Comedy Channel, which later became Comedy Central. I don't know what they call that channel now. But anyway, I tuned it in, and then and I've got my VCR ready to record it. And there's people talking and joking over it and obscuring part of the screen. It's like, shit. So it made me, and they were playing all these movies with wonderful prints. But when DVD came along and you would get a Mystery Science Theater disc, they would give you the real movie complete without talking over it. And then you'd flip the disc, and then you could watch it with the jokes over it. And I didn't mind that as long as I could get a clean copy because I'd like to have the actual real movie without the joking, because I appreciate movies. And Uh, anyway, that was my initial complaint with Mystery Science Theater. And it inspired a lot of people that aren't funny to start talking really loudly in real movie theaters in real life and making jokes about what's on the screen so they could be like the little robots or whatever on Mystery Science Theater. It inspired a lot of unfunny Democrats, probably. There's a joke that Democrats can't mean, that their memes, on the internet aren't funny because they're scared about offending people, and real humor doesn't worry about offending people. Usually the funniest humor is offensive, and um, so Democrats tend to create very lackluster, lame groaners of memes. And then what is that guy on Benny Johnson? He's some conservative comedian on the internet. He was giving some talk at the University of Iowa or something about memes. He had some video with Kamala Harris coming out, and this crazy guy in the crowd came up and kicked the projector over and said something about, "You're all racist, you're racist as fuck, motherfuckers, and I can't take this anymore," and storms out. He was quickly arrested. Um, that was just in the news this morning. Let's see if I can't find that. It's pretty funny. Benny Johnson. My wife keeps calling him Benny Goodman. I said, no, that's the big band guy. Benny Johnson. Benny and the Jets. Man, he's got 245,000 subscribers, man. That's pretty good. Oh, here it is. Hold on, I'll show you. Okay, now how do I share this? Dr. Orloff, tell us the story about the time you overdubbed two characters in an Italian-Spanish language zombie movie, and then returned it to the rental shop. Yes, I will. Oh, I was supposed to do a show. My wife suggested where I take questions, and so I'll do that now. Here on the 300th, 600th, whatever the fuck anniversary of the show. Send me questions. Oh, 9. It's gone down to 9. Oh well, people are probably eating dinner. Share screen. Home tab. All right. I think you can see it now. Fuck you! Swear to fucking God! Fuck! Oh my God! Fuck you! Swear to fucking God! Fuck! Oh my God! Fuck you! Swear to fucking God! Fuck you! Okay. Racist ass shit. What does he say? Racist ass shit. Fuck you. I swear to fucking God. He couldn't take the picture, the Kamala Harris thing. Let's see here. Kramer raging at those hecklers like 15. Oh, yeah, that was pretty horrible. Let's see. Haha, it's a classic. Already some tasty memes. All right, so Forrest wanted me to tell a story that happened about 1985. My friend Tom Renoni and I, who is the guy that went to Hollywood and worked in the special effects industry. Well, we did a lot of dub, not a lot, but some. I had a VCR that had some kind of flying erase head where I could record shows off of television and then dub. Then with a microphone attached, I could record a new soundtrack over it. And it could overdub, where then I could lay another layer of sound over it. I could come back and put music over it, like multi-tracks. It worked as long as until hi-fi VHS cassettes came out with the stereo sound, and then it didn't work. But anyway, so you're just recording off television. And I initially experimented in 1984, and I've got a tape. I converted it to DVD. It's not something that could be put on DVD because it's shockingly horrible. But anyway, I recorded Sesame Street and some of the Captain America Marvel Superheroes cartoon that at the time was on television. I don't know why I didn't just record all of them up. I just thought it was always going to be on television. Of course, it wasn't. Anyway, so I recorded some Captain America, a little bit of the Lou Ferrigno Hercules movie, a bunch of stuff. And we dubbed it and had, maybe you guys did the dubbing too. It was just, and then we later dubbed at least 30 to 45 minutes of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That was a lot of fun too. But one time there was a movie that in the VHS days, it was called Return of the Zombies. And we thought, well, let's rent this movie because we rented all the horror movies. Let's rent this movie, Return of the Zombies. Back then, you would rent these VHS tapes. And then after the movie was over, it would just go to static. And, if you were wanting to, you could record little commercials or things that are little, they might have 10 minutes of blank space or 5 minutes at the end of the VHS, and you could just put something else on there. So then if anyone rented that tape in the future after the movie was over, if they didn't just start rewinding before the closing credits were over, they could be exposed to whatever you wanted to put on there. And anyway, so this movie was so terrible. The title was misspelled. When the movie started, it didn't say Return of the Zombies. It said Return of the Zombies. They had left the E out of zombies. And so we thought, well, what if we just dubbed some character? What if there's a character that just appears in? There were these two caretakers in the cemetery, and they were humorous comedic relief, and they only appeared once every 20 minutes in the movie. And this was some Italian movie that was dubbed in English already, badly dubbed into English. And we thought we could dub the dialogue just as well as the people that dubbed it. And so why don't we find these two characters are barely in the movie? Why don't I dub one voice and you dub the other, and we'll just redub it on the original tape and then make a copy for ourselves for our amusement, and then just return it to. And probably when we returned it to the video store, no one ever checked it out after us and saw this. And if they did, they probably thought it was the original vocal talent that was dubbing. They probably didn't even think that someone had. They probably just thought that's the way the movie was dubbed. That they went like totally nuts when these two characters appeared. But we just made them completely foul-mouthed and insane. And we did that. It was late at night. Then we realized, shit, they keep appearing in the movie. It was like 3:00 in the morning because we didn't realize they were in the movie that much, and we had to get it all perfect. So when it was returned to the video store, anyway, I don't think anyone ever rented the movie to find out we'd messed with it. But anyway, I've got a tape somewhere of those two little caretakers in a movie called Return of the Zombies. Or we joked about it, Return of the Zombies, because they misspelled it. And if you saw it, it would be really funny. But you just have to trust me. It was like all of a sudden, this boring movie it just took a insane turn. Uh, so that's Forrest's question. Let's see what else people are saying. Oh, John Goris says, I had some classes with Don Duga. He storyboarded Rudolph amongst many other classics. I was just thinking about this. Another thing I thought about this morning. And hey Siri, when was Gary Gilmore executed?
Okay, I found this on the web for when was Gary Gilmore executed. Check it out.
Check it out, dude. January 17th, 1977, 807, 807 by a firing squad. They were doing firing squads in the 70s? Anyway, Gary Gilmore, I don't even remember. He was some horrible murderer or serial killer. I don't know. He was a big name back in the 70s. But uh, anyway, I remember he wanted to have the death penalty. He wanted it. And it was getting close to Christmas. And I remember Saturday Night Live back when they were funny, back in the John Belushi, Gilda Radner, the Bill Murray days. They did a song called they sang a song called Let's Kill Gary Gilmore for Christmas, because that's his wish. Hey Siri, how many people did Gary Gilmore kill?
Okay, I found this on the web for how many people did Gary Gilmore kill. Check it out.
Wikipedia. This is all tied into Rudolph. Just hold on a moment. Looking at Wikipedia. Was an American criminal who gained international attention for demanding the implementation of his death sentence for 2 murders he admitted to committing in Utah. Anyway. Oh, apparently Tommy Lee Jones played him in a 1982 TV film. His life and execution were the subject of the 1979 nonfiction novel The Executioner's Song by Norman Mailer and 1982 TV film of the novel with Tommy Jones. Okay. So Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is on. It's yearly showing right before Christmas. And they interrupted. The network broke into Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer to announce that Gary Gilmore had been granted his request and was going to be executed. And then they went right back to Rudolph. And people were up in arms. It's like, fuck, you don't break into a children's animated Christmas special to announce that someone's going to be killed by a firing squad. It was a big deal. I remember this. I remember a lot of weird things. But anyway. Let's see. I was thinking of Gary Glitter. No, it wasn't executing Gary Glitter, but he probably did things that warranted it. Gary Gilmore. What is that? A little tiger something. Okay, so that's amazing. How about that? No one has any questions. That reminds me of the Casey Kasem dead dog incident. Oh, yeah, that's right. I recall that it was Santa who slayed Gary. Yes. Those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. Here's March 1974. That's cool. That's that face is a swipe from the portrait of Dorian Gray. And they reused that painting we saw earlier on the back. Oh, Writer's Digest magazine says the most vital, constantly moving ahead, breaking new ground, using consistently innovative stories. Writer's Digest magazine approves of the horror mood publications. Yes. This artist is like a fucking lunatic. Who is this artist? I remember thinking, does it say Mark Nava or Maro Nava? Um, anyway, some of these artists were a little bit different from the Warren artists. Um, but I think the thing I missed the most. I mean, it really does kind of look like a Warren magazine. I just missed those ads in the back. I've heard people complain about those ads in the back of Warren magazines, and I thought, are you out of your mind? I used to pore over those. Um, Here's an ad for the Heap. Kind of looks like almost like Vampirella attacking the Heap. There's a werewolf slashing a guy. Psycho, March 74. This is starting to hurt my back, man. January 74. January starts the year off right. February, you're my little dynamite. March, I'm gonna march you down the aisle. April, you're the Easter bunny when you smile. Yeah, yeah, my heart's in a whirl. I love my little calendar girl every day of the year. Fuck you. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. You asshole. You scum. Yeah, indeed. Bastard. All right. It's the next issue. Wait, didn't we already see this one? Let me see here. Psycho, September 1972. Let me see. I've seen so many screaming women and vampires today that I'm getting loopy. That's 73. That's 73. That's 72. So we have not seen this issue yet. Look at that. The Chamber of Chills awaits you in this terror-taught issue. They got one about gargoyles attacking people. That's pretty innovative. Remember that movie with Bernie Casey, Gargoyles? This looks a little too artsy for me here. Yeah, sometimes the artwork in here it's a little hit and miss. Oh, this is kind of cool. Looks a little Wally Wood like, not exactly, but you can tell that's what they were going for. Look, there's Hillary Clinton's coven. Who is this artist? This wood-like artist. Our mind-twisting cover story by Marv Wolfman and Andrew and Esposito. Okay, so it's Andrew and Esposito that have concocted this story. Look at that shit. Okay, so that's September 1972, ladies and gentlemen. November, September, October, November. Yes, indeed. Oh, boy. My neck hurts, boy.
YouTube TV has no hidden fees.
YouTube TV,
And includes unlimited DVR space. YouTube TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, 600 subscribers. 600th episode. By the way, you need to make sure you subscribe to this channel. Fuck, what was that? Yes, we lost a subscriber this morning, and that was quite terrible. Horror Mike, that's a beauty. Howdy, says Gold Key Geezer. Hi, Geezer. Paulo says, greetings. Yes. We've got 2 hours and 9 minutes until the incredible Gratu Orloff appearance on the Graphic Man show. All right. So, fuck that. Okay. So, Paulo, can you get Zacharella magazines? How difficult is it to find Zacharella magazines where you are at? Is the question I pose to you. Because there are a small handful on eBay, and they're like all $40. Let's see. Was it very well distributed in Portugal? Is the next question. Here's the 1974 Psycho yearbook. This was something that Warren did where they showed a bunch of covers. And of course, that was really cool to me. And now this Warren imitation company that's around today called Warrant does this same kind of thing where they show the past covers. A Skywald horror mood publication. I think that your guitar needs to be tuned. Hi, Christopher and Paulo. Indeed. Genius is never appreciated. Let's see. Psycho Annual 1972, Psycho Annual 74. Not easy. I need to ask around. Even if I get one myself, shipping is going to be close to over $40 anyway. Yeah, but then I would be supporting you and not some eBay scumbag who may rip me off. But there's certain particular issues I'm looking for that aren't on eBay. There's one that I just got to get. I think it's the first issue. Yeah, man. I guess I don't have to do anything. But, this is the one I remember seeing on the newsstand. Didn't get it, but Learn How to Scream in this macabre collector's issue, August 1973. Scream, scream, scream. Terrifying. Love this painting. Love it, love it, love it. Grit. Zacharella was hard to distribute because it needed to be marked for mature readers on the cover. Oh, okay. Hello, Gratu and chat. Hello, Man Bear Pig. Oh, Scream is a different magazine. We were looking at Psycho. Are there any more Psychos in here? I don't mean you guys, but okay, so Scream. Where are my other issues of Scream? No. I have more issues of Scream. There's another box of these sleazy exploitation horror magazines somewhere. Horror Mike. Hey, Paulo Costa and Man Bear Pig. What's up, Horror Mike? This is maybe one of the last from this company, the 1975 Scream Winter Special. That's an unfortunate placement of this ugly box. All new horror stories and features The Exorcist. Yeah, they got to have The Exorcist real big, covering up part of this wonderful painting. This is the face of Satan, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. A face often seen in the pages of Psycho. In the next issue. Okay, wonderful. Scream. Psycho. Okay, so I've got my Psychos organized. I've got my Eerie publications organized. I'm aware I'm missing some magazines because I... Okay, this was Atlas. Hold on, I still have words up here. This is Atlas, the Marvel imitation. How long has it been since you were really scared? Weird Tales of the Macabre. Well, first of all, the average third and fourth grader can't pronounce this word. I can barely do it. And this cover is very strange. It's like a zombie rising from the water, missing an arm, or is one arm just kind of bent backwards? I guess he's missing an arm. So this is made to be an imitation of Marvel's imitations of Warren. So it's an imitation of an imitation. Kind of like Battlestar Galactica was an imitation of Star Wars, which was an imitation of Flash Gordon, which was an imitation of John. It's like, when you make VHS copies, each one is a little less clear. You get degenerate things. But let's see how... Oh, they got like a Dark Shadows. I always love that. Carolyn didn't believe in vampires either. That's they made several Dark Shadows movies and horror of House of Dark Shadows. It made Barnabas Collins a complete villain in the TV show, in the soap opera. He was a lot more sympathetic, but in the movie he was portrayed as complete evil. See, and they got Kolchak the Night Stalker. Boy, I loved that shit when I was a kid. The TV show and movies. Impossible? Not for the super bodybuilding system. See, and this is their Atlas Comics, the new house of ideas. These were all the heroes that Atlas was introducing in their plan to stick it to Stan. And you got... so it's all these... every one of these heroes had some equivalent in the Marvel world. And this artist, this is you see, they have these Spanish artists are, you look at this and is this, let me look at the front. Artists this issue: Pat Boyette, Ernie Colon, Leo Duranova, Leo Summers, Ramon Torrance, Villanova, Okay. Well, anyway, this looks like Jose Pepe Gonzalez, the Vampirella guy. But the Spanish artist will have sort of have a similar style. This looks very much like I have a copy of Vampirella open. Um, um, yeah. So, but anyway, this is probably they might be stories that were made for a Spanish magazine and they were just bought by them. I don't know how how that all worked, or if they were ordered on commission from Spain and sent over to the United States and printed in English, and then it went back and they were also printed in Spain. I don't know. Paulo might know better than me. Paulo might like this story with the race cars. Oh my gosh, look at this poor guy. That's a bad wreck. It's called Speed Demon. All right. Atlas Shrugged, yeah. The entire Dark Shadows is available on Tubi. Tubi or not Tubi? Yeah. Yep. I love Dark Shadows, yeah. I never watched it when it originally aired, but I bought the comic books before I ever saw. I mean, Dark Shadows came back in syndication in the late 70s, and that's when I saw it, when it was shown in the evening. Now, I have two copies of the second issue of Weird Tales of the Macabre, and it's, I think, the last issue where they're burning a witch. Holocaust Sunset Sunday show. There's been a run on Zacharella back issues. Laugh out loud. Yeah, one guy. Unless you've been getting them too, Horror Mike. But yeah, a lot of about half of the ones on eBay are gone. Let's see what Paulo says. The Selecciones Ilustradas studio from Barcelona was hired to produce stories for the Warren and Erie magazines. They also produced stories for the British market. Okay. Hello says searching for stuff, and Paulo, but by the 70s and 80s, the Spanish version of 1984 was publishing the stories in Spain and the USA at the same time. Okay. Did, you know, what was I going to ask? Oh, have you seen, Paulo? There's like a 5-6 hour long documentary on YouTube about Jose Gonzalez, the Vampirella guy. It's kind of depressing, but it's interesting. Well, half the issues on eBay classifies as a run. All right. So this one's open. Let's open it up and look at it. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh, they got a John Severin story. How about that? Yeah, Atlas got some pretty good artists for their color books and everything because they, I think they probably returned the art or just paid a higher page rate or something. Oh, what's this? Oh, nudity. Pat Boyette. Yeah, he's a great artist. Carrion of the Gods and Chariots of the Gods was a big hit at the time, the paperback and the movie based on it. And there were a million imitations of Chariots of the Gods, the ancient astronaut shit. Yeah, this is the kind of nudity that would appear in these magazines and in the Warren magazines. It was, just little stuff like that aimed at 13-year-old boys. Um, this is the only way they could get nudity. The internet did not exist yet. And, they weren't going to be able to buy Playboy at the newsstand. Sometimes you'd get away with buying National Lampoon because the person behind the counter in the bookstore thought it was just a news magazine like National Review. They didn't know what was inside of it. Yes, indeed. Oh, they have Bog Beast in here. He was in the Color Comics too. Uh, oh, I should show the all the Western comics that Gotham City Comics has gotten in. I was promising I'd show that. Uh, let's see. Branko Bear says, "Hey, Gratu." Christopher Schneider says, "Hi, Branko." Paulo says, "Branko." Oh, it's Bronco, isn't it? I went through this whole discussion about a year and a half ago, how to pronounce it. Now I've forgotten. Um, and Bronco says, "Hey, Christopher Schneider, how you been?" It is 5:05 p.m. We have an hour and 55 minutes until Graphic Man's show. Um, okay, so those are in there. Oh, look at this. This is signed to Kenneth Big Daddy Roth, 1994. Bronco, I accept both. Or Mike, I'm going to become the new cartoonist kayfabe. Zacharella is feeling the Apollo effect. Yes. This is Stan Lee. He's kind of hipster and was aware of kind of what was going on and thought he was a hipster. Have you enjoyed your move? Enjoyed your move. That's hilarious. Anyway, he decided I'll put out an underground comic book. So this is comics book. Look out, a bunch of underground cartoonists is trying to undermine. So he got some underground cartoonists and put out for about 4, maybe 5 issues, maybe 7, 6. I got some of them. This book, comics book. Oh, that's nice. Who did that art? It almost looks like Will Elder, but it is not Will Elder. That girl in the bikini looks very Will Elder like, but that's what they were going for. Yeah, I mean it's underground comics, but put out where you can actually sell it. Flip the bird. I just I'm now getting the joke. Flip the bird. I didn't get that when I bought this when I was young. I don't know. I didn't buy this when it came out, obviously, but it was something I bought at some point where I didn't get the joke. Flip the bird. It's clearly underground, but I loved underground comics, and oh yeah, I loved Skip Williamson, Howard Cruz. I was just talking about a Luger squirt gun this morning. I had a Luger squirt gun just like that when I was a kid. But yeah, this is Stan Lee attempting to, and they have reprints of old Basil Wolverton stuff because his influence on everything. Panthea. There was a collection, hardcover collection of these books. I remember seeing it at Lone Star Comics. I don't think it was a complete collection of everything that appeared in these magazines. I could be wrong. It might have been everything because, like, here's issue 2. There's issue 4. I don't have issue 3. Youth's Companion. He's being sent out of the house because of his comic. And here's issue 5, which is farewell issue. So I'm missing 3. Anyway, it's more Skip Williamson. I don't know if some underground artists would think that this is selling out to the, but you got to make a living. A fat 68-page magazine for only $1. Yeah, this Panthea is kind of like a Vampirella kind of, but she never wears any clothing. Let's see. People are commenting, and I haven't come. Brank, let's see. Branko, I'm doing great. Have you enjoyed your move? Yeah, I've adjusted well to the move. Might be coming back to the U.S. this holiday season. That'll be nice. It's too damn expensive here. Hey, it's expensive everywhere. It's the New World Order. Branko, thanks for asking, Christopher. Horror Mike says, Paulo, the Zaccarella issues comic Crip on eBay were based in Portugal. It is quite the rare magazine. Yeah, it's not exactly cheap here at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how rare it is. Paulo, is it rare in Portugal, or is it just kind of like any magazine from the 70s? I mean, it's rare here, obviously, because it's not in English. I don't know. Let's look at issue 2. Yeah, some of this is politically incorrect. This is more tame. You're not seeing anything. Oh, look, this is probably a key issue. Look, it's probably the first appearance of Mouse. I bet it is. Comics book number 2. Let's look and see what mycomicshop.com. Let's see. I think Tel Aviv was voted the most expensive city in the world, though. Like I said earlier, being a mature reader's magazine limited its distribution. Yeah. Oh, well. But if we keep talking about Zaccarella Horror Mike, we'll never get our own copies, so we probably should just be shh about it. Let's see. Here's Cracked Magazine's attempt to break into the horror market for monsters only. And they have horror. They have fucking stories in here too, and masks you can buy. And then text stories. So this is like a combination of famous monsters and creepy. Sure is. Okay. Yeah, there's some car stuff in here that I didn't show you. Maybe I should show it. I was amazed when I went into a Walmart. I don't go into Walmarts very often, about 2 years ago, and I saw an issue of cartoons on the stand with the original logo. And I thought, what kind of weird time warp have I stepped into? Someone recently revived this magazine. This is October 1971 issue. I remember these as a kid. They were not as appealing as Mad Magazine or Cracked. They were very specialized in their, it was all car humor, which went a little over my head and just wasn't as funny, as Mad was more making fun of everything around you. And this doesn't really make fun of anything because it worships cars. It kind of maybe makes fun of people that love cars, but it's made for people that love cars. So it's really not biting satire. It's just just like something to keep around the shop where you're changing people's oil, I guess. But it's a comic that it's one of the like I have 2 copies of that issue. How about that? Yeah, Big Daddy Roth had his own magazine. Yeah. This is from October, November 64. What the fuck was that? Comic Crypt of Castle Hills just put up a video. It says now. Yeah, let's be the first person to like it. Let's see. You beat me to it. All right. Let's take a look here. What is he talking about today? Share screen. He's doing a lot of videos lately. Share screen. Chrome tab. Okay. There we go. Will I be the first person to like this video? Videos. Where is it? Where is it? Where's the new video? I don't see it, man. What? That already has 78 views and is 2 days old. What? I'm not seeing it here. Damn it. Let's see. Come on. Subscriptions. 2 minutes ago. It says no views. Look, I'm the first person. How about that?
Today, I would like to share with you new comic book haul. I've got some back issues, some new comics that came out today. Today is Wednesday, September 21st, 2022.
His new stuff.
I hope you all made it out to your local comic shops.
I wrote great stuff.
And I hope you all found
I assume it will be great stuff, so I go ahead and write that.
That you were looking for. So, today was...
What did he find?
Let's see, how do I explain it?
So it says, no worries, I live with my fiance's folks in the moment. So it's like,
comic books that came out today.
This was the
New Comic Book Wednesday,
issue that my mother bought for me in December of 1970. This was the Christmas issue. This was a very important. I love this cover, and this is one of the things I learned to read from.
Favorite, or what I thought was really cool comics came out today.
All right.
And place an order with.
He buys a lot of comic books. It's the Gratuillo Show, ladies and gentlemen. What is this shit? 2 hours, fucking 5:20. What am I going to show tonight? Oh, these issues of Nightmare, man. I forgot to put these back in that box. Nightmare. This is Horror Mike says, I predict he'll do a stellar Zaccarella video soon. That's cool. Hey. Okay. What's in this box? Oh, wow. Man, what is this shit? Oh, that's not that. Planet of the Apes, Savage Sword of Conan. I already showed these the other day. What's in this box? Oh, this is a bunch of bullshit. I was going to look up comics book. Is this valuable? The first issue of Cheryl Blossom. There's a Richard Corbin doing H.P. Lovecraft. Bugs Bunny. Oh, cool. There's some Simpsons books. What is that what is that when is the All Quiet on the Western Front movie coming out? I just got another email from Kmart. They refuse to die. I just need to convince them to carry Super 8 film stock again. There's Kmart still in Florida? Really? I thought they were completely dead. That is so cool. You ever read these Radioactive Man? They did a pretty good job simulating all different eras, like the 1970-71 era of DC. See, they got a reprint from the Golden Age in the back, and I mean, it's someone that cares about comic history was behind this. And this was the Marvel superheroes kind of take off. Oh, that reminds me, damn it. Let me check something. Okay, what was that fucking thing? Okay. mycomicshop.com. Cheryl Blossom. One. Oh shit! Some idiot's got one on consignment for $375. CGC 9.8. Of course, mine is not CGC'd and would never be CGC'd. So I guess there's demand for Cheryl Blossom #1. Second issue is $14.50. Oh. And there's a Marilyn Monroe kind of cover that's going for $30 and fine 6.0. Okay, let's look up comics book because I have a feeling that mouse appearance could, not that I'm going to sell it, but comics book. I tend to look up the value of comics by looking at my Lone Star Comics' website, mycomicshop.com. But if they don't have the book in stock, then you're kind of left out. Okay. Was it #2 that was the mouse appearance? Let me see. Let's take a look. #1 and fine is like $10. #3 is the one I don't have. Okay. #4. Is that the one that had mouse? First printing. With this issue, Kitchen takes over Marvel's failed attempt at a magazine format anthology of underground cartoonists. Okay, so it wasn't doing well, so Dennis Kitchen took over with issue 4. Okay. 2 must be the one that had mouse. Snappy Sammy Smoot. Okay. Well, yes. If that was that the one that had mouse, someone's trying to sell it in for like $65 in 8.0. I'm pretty sure I bought those from Lone Star Comics, back issue down at some point. Well, I don't know about Florida, but I did visit one in North Carolina on the Outer Banks a few years ago. Okay, here they're trying to do, I guess, Frank Miller era. No, or is that more? Yeah. Is that what they're trying to do? Probably. And this is Go-Go Check's era. Simpsons comics look wonderful. They aren't probably that funny. Simpsons was a wonderful series when it first started. Now I'm not. Is it still on the air? I don't even know if it's still on. It became gradually more not as funny to the point where I just forgot it existed. But there's something about The Simpsons where it predicts a lot of things that happen in our world. And it's like there's something, somehow they either people watch that and then make things happen the way they happened in the cartoon, or it's very strange. It's like, Star Trek, they had communicators that they would flip open, and then some of the early cell phones were flip phones. And that the people that, there were Star Trek fans saying we need to just flip it open and so the TV show influenced the technology. And in 2001: A Space Odyssey, they had tablets flat tablets on the moon. That's pretty cool. But no, they predicted uh, Donald Trump running for president, and they predicted him coming down the escalator. They predicted a lot of things years before it really happened. Now it's very possible Donald Trump thought, well, I'll do the escalator just like in The Simpsons. That's probably what happened there. But some of the Simpsons people hang out at Bohemian Grove. Maybe they find out intel there. Let's see. Harry Shearer. He's one I suspect might have inside knowledge from the Illuminati, from the cabal. He's a very good, funny guy, but he's with a credibility gap. But I think he's in with those people. All right, so excitement, man. No one wants to come on today. I'll put on the link again in case anyone wants to come in. I don't think anyone wants to come in today. I'm overdoing all this shit. I need to rein it back and not do as many shows. Yes. Indeed. Oh, this issue came out when I was in May of 1975. So I was in 4th grade, and I remember buying this. And it looks harmless enough, but they have an article about naughty French postcards. And look at this naughty picture here. I'll tell you what I remember about this issue. Well, I knew it was a Marvel book, and it has, about comic strips, Tom Mix, and I was fascinated by history. There's an article on Dolly Parton. I didn't even remember that. This is a cool magazine. But this is really aimed at my parents. My parents in the they were born in the 20s, and this is a magazine aimed at them. But I was in I was in 4th grade. I was really interested in that time period. I wasn't like a normal kid. I loved the past. It's about the TV show Flash Gordon. That's Steve Holland. That also was the model for Doc Savage on the paperback covers. Okay, but so here are the dirty postcards, and I read about that. That's how I found out that back then the sight of a woman smoking, or just that was considered shocking. And where does it say it in here? I was reading this. It's like, see, that's kind of a dirty picture back then. Shows a woman's bare legs. And where is it? Where is that word? I haven't looked at this book in decades. Anyway, somewhere in here they use the word erotic. And so I asked my mother, what does erotic mean? And it's kind of an embarrassing thing to ask in 4th grade. But I remember this magazine resulting in me asking my mother what erotic meant. That's the little story that I was going to tell you about this particular issue of Nostalgia Illustrated. How about that? Then there's a bunch of these 1990s dirty penthouse comics. They did a superhero magazine, and got a bunch of these. There's probably not many pages in here I can show you. Sometimes they had stuff like they had pretty good artists in here, like Jim Steranko. Sometimes they had some of his art. Who is this? It's Gray Morrow. Sometimes it's not really stuff I can show you. Penthouse comics. Oh, look at that. It's a gender swapped Doc Savage, basically. May June 1996. Trying to find pages that are clean enough to show. My goodness. What is this supposed to be, like Challengers of the Unknown? These are the heroes that are being introduced. But there's, it's very much like the movie Flesh Gordon. You've got these creatures that are made to look like private parts. The fuck was that? Why am I getting notices about Bitcoin? I'd never buy Bitcoin in a million years. Oh, here's this modern magazine, Shutter, that's made to be like those old Warren magazines. And they do a pretty good job of, well, a very good job of simulating the look of those old magazines. It's definitely something aimed at me. It's hard for me to find this because I don't have a local comic store. These are also sold in Barnes & Noble, which may be the only store in the world that still has magazines. You go in there, you realize I didn't know anyone still made magazines. Shutter. They did call it The Creeps after Creepy, and I think they got a angry letter or a lawsuit threat from James Warren, who's still alive, and they changed it out. Why am I tiring myself out when I'm going to be doing Graphic Man's show tonight? What is going on here? Oh, racy buffering. That issue is great. Kelly Jones art on a werewolf story, if I remember right. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool that someone respects that old stuff. Wow. Is this really what it is? No. That lid does not tell accurately what's in here. Okay, so Marvel started a Mad magazine type of magazine. This cover is by Kelly Frias, and it's set. For the first 10 or so issues, it actually was something that was a little transcendent above all the Mad imitations. Are you saying that my show is buffering? There's Horror Mike. Are you saying that my show is buffering?
Buffering.
I don't know.
Well, I just had etc. Howdy.
It's probably the sound is up on your computer. I don't know.
It's possible. I got to hook this up, man.
Well, that's all right.
The sound's going to be terrible. How's the sound, Gratsu?
It sounds good now.
Oh, okay.
But it has.
Well, the hell with it then.
This is this crazy. You ever see this early crazy? It's pretty well done.
Yeah, I saw a few issues of that. another, mad cracked.
Yeah, but this let
Kinda,
me make my screen a little bit bigger. Yeah, the beginning, but in the early days, it was something better. Um,
ah,
like here you've got a Harlan Ellison story with a Basil Warburton drawing, and then you've got
what's the name
this
of that story? Of that Ellison story?
breaking and entering Pandora's box. I mean, it may have been printed somewhere
Nice.
else,
I
but
didn't realize that, man.
here you've got this newspaper that's printed after a nuclear war, and it's I mean, after about 10 issues, it sunk below cracked and became something almost like sick. But at this period, it's
Great.
like the art is great. It's like it was trying to be something between Mad and National Lampoon in the early days. It's got like a TV listings. It's got look at this Tarzan
Oh yeah.
illustration. Tarzan goes to Minnesota, and then it's got these comic strips. Just really, really good art. And then they make fun of they make fun of Mad. They make fun of National Lampoon. They got Roy
Oh yeah.
Thomas
There's the
there,
classic National Lampoon setup. Yeah.
but it's Roy Thomas if you look there.
But lacking the actual TNA. Yes.
Oh yeah, because this was they have a parody of Kung Fu with the art done by Mike Plug.
Flug.
So
Werewolf by Night and all that.
yeah, so this is just something that was for a little brief shining moment.
I may
Crazy
have to
was
check
kind of
out. Now, was that issue number one, Groton?
that's the first issue. Yeah,
Okay, I'll
explosive
be on
first
the
issue.
lookout for it because
And see,
I
just
like
look
to
at
get.
the way he's drawn. It's just really cool.
Yeah, I like to get issues with Ellison stuff in it.
Yeah, this,
He's as a matter of fact, they could easily do some kind of a volume of Ellison related comics.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I showed a lot of this the other day on my show. Actually, pretty much. This was labeled. The box was labeled
Oh,
Dynamite Bananas Pizzazz, but that's not what this is. So that's
here we go.
box. Let me
Check
let
check
me
this
put
out,
this
man.
on.
Chamber
Oh,
of Chills, and that is the Ellison story, of course.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got
And
that
that's,
issue. I think I
I
might have
think,
two copies of that issue.
issue number one, and you can trust it, Gratu, because it's a PGX. It's not CGC, it's PGX
What does that mean?
company, grading company.
I've never heard
So
of that one.
yeah, and for good reason because they're considered one of the worst of
Oh,
all
really?
time. Yes. Oh, there you go.
What do they charge?
I don't think they charge anything anymore because they're out of business.
Oh, so shouldn't you just break it out of the box or just have it as a curiosity?
No, for posterity. Come on, man.
Oh, like
And not
saving a Robert Bell bag just because it's historical?
exactly. Not only that, but that issue isn't worth that much. It's
No, I wouldn't think it would be much more than $5 to $7, would it be?
exactly. I got it for $20 with the PGX thing. So,
Oh, okay.
but something great did happen, Gratu.
What's that?
Well, Comic Crypt of Castle Hills bought my combo that I've been
Yeah, yeah,
selling
yeah.
on eBay of my films, Witch Tales and Horror Anthology Movie, Volume
Right.
1. And then I was down to one left. Well, today, another guy on another live stream bought that, so I've officially sold them out.
Okay.
Incredible, because there were 1,000 of these, and there's only about 20 left of these, the Blu-rays, which are fairly new. But Yeah, I sold out the combos. I couldn't believe it.
So,
So I will be drinking a little tonight. In
so
other words, that's what I'm getting at. I'm going to be drinking. Okay.
are you sold out? Were they self-distributed or?
Yes, self-distributed. Yeah. I've had my run-ins with distributors,
Yeah.
so I know what the deal is with that. So yeah, all of them. When you sell, when you self-distribute and you sell a copy, you actually get paid. That's the key difference between self-distribution and getting a distributor who will never pay you.
Right.
So
Well, so how many you keep a few copies for yourself for your own collection, I guess?
well, yeah, of course. I mean, I can't, you know, I can't. Yeah, I at least need one or two, you know, in my actual
Right.
collection. But it's been a long time coming because I've had these for a while, and I lived in Peru for 5 years, and I couldn't sell them from Peru because the shipping rates are insane.
Yeah.
You know, so when I got back here to the States in 2019, I proceeded to once again sell them as fast as I could, and I finally, as of this morning, sold them out.
That's cool.
It's a bit of a, it's a little bit of a, it's just a little triumph for the small distribution racket. You know, that's it.
So I guess the big headline on Drudge Report, they've got it in red. It's like New York sues Trump clan for fraud. Art
Oh
of
boy,
the Steal, inflated net worth by billions. 222 page filing referral to IRS for criminal prosecution. They're desperate for him not to run.
oh,
House
they're
has
gonna
a
do
plan
everything.
to head off future Trumpian election challenges. Yeah.
They will do everything, Gratu.
Yeah.
Of course, we know this. It's just things are just starting right now. Wait until October.
Yeah.
Oh boy, oh boy, things are gonna get real spicy.
Well, it's
Things are gonna get
already
really
pretty
spicy.
much just a few days till October.
Yeah, man.
What should I show tonight? Give me an idea. Let me see what I can
Oh,
find. I'm always
uh,
what I do normally. I just like 5 minutes before the show, and
have
I'm
you
looking
ever
at some
shown
tips
the
to study for
the
the test.
nightmares and psychos on there?
I've shown those before, I think. Yeah,
Oh,
and then that caused a run on those books. I think people started. I'm not like kayfabe, but I've started a few runs. Just in our little small community.
yes.
All it takes is Castle Hills and Captain Strange Life and maybe one other guy, and all of a sudden everything's gone.
Hey, I should tell you guys. I should probably show it to you because let me find it here
Yeah.
first. People may be very interested in this or not.
What is that?
I'm putting it. I'm getting the link right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna put it in the chat or put it in the thing here.
All righty. Hold on. I've got a box of
Okay.
DC War comic books that might entertain somebody. Put that over here. Okay, you given me a link. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, this might be of interest to some people in the chat, maybe even to you. I don't know, but this is a place. It's Hip Comic, and this
No.
guy is currently having an auction, and it is all horror magazines and a few like Blazing Combat and stuff.
All right,
But
I
you
have
can see,
everything you're showing except that first one, and that first one doesn't look interesting to me.
how about this?
I have all of those. I have all of the Castle of Frankenstein's.
Oh,
That
you
was
got
one of
all
my
the
favorites.
they've got
Yeah,
comic book number
yeah, and I've got
one.
that Crazy. That was still when Crazy was good. I've got the Exorcist one. I've got all of those.
You got all the creepies.
I don't
But I'm
know, but I
pointing
think I
out
have all those issues.
I'm pointing out to some people that look at some of the prices. I mean, there's only 23 hours left. Some of these are really cheap.
What does it say? I can't read that. What does it
It's
say?
$4.25.
In what condition is it in?
Fine condition, about 6.0, I guess.
Damn, man. I guess that I think there's just so many of them out there because there was a warehouse find.
Probably. Yeah, a lot of these are like that. Many of these are under $10.
I remember
With
I've never been to a
23
comic
hours left.
convention and seeing stacks of mint condition copies. Yeah, most of that I have. Let me pull the.
Well, these are all. Yeah, it's not just creepy though.
Yeah.
It goes into a few things like I don't know, kind of rare stuff like Devilina is in here.
Yeah, what are they going for?
Well, it's once again, it's all of these are 23 hours left.
Yeah.
And it's currently going for $10.50 in fine condition.
Well, I don't know that how many people are really able to buy books now with the economy, but
These, if you're gonna buy them, this is about as cheap as they get. I guess
yeah.
that's my point here. You got Erie number 7 in fine condition for 99 cents with one bid.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Well, do you have most of those books?
No. I hardly have any of them.
Do you have those Castle of Frankensteins?
I got a couple of Castle of Frankensteins, but nowhere near the collection you've got.
I'd recommend you get all the Castle of Frankensteins you can, because that's something that's really, truly great.
They've got Monsters and Heroes. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I was just showing. Yeah, I was just showing this one here just the other day. I don't have the first two there, but I have the. What are these two going for? I can't read the price.
Well, the one on the left is going for $7.
Yeah.
The other two are going for $3.25.
Oh shit. Yeah. Those are great.
Now, still okay. To be realistic, there's 23 hours left, so these could easily triple in price.
Oh yeah, that's when all the people pounce, I guess.
But it's getting down to the wire. Oh yeah, they do have. Now this is kind of interesting. They do have some Monster Worlds, and I know you've got some of these, or maybe you have all of them. I don't know.
I might have all of them.
But the Monster World with number 2, with the Monsters cover is currently at $10.50. With I think it's got 18 bids. Pretty impressive.
18 bids on what?
Monster World number 2 with the Monsters cover.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, there's Munster's attention right now because of that movie.
Of course.
The best one, and there was also an Addams Family cover. The best cover was the Christmas one.
They do have the Addams Family cover.
Yeah.
As you notice here, she looks correct. She's not freaking green.
Well, she was never green. It was the Munsters that were green.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
yeah, she's correct there too.
Yeah, she's correct.
The Munsters magazine on the right, the one-shot Munsters magazine. I've got a very poor a copy that's not in very good condition. That's a pretty rare book. What is it going for? I can't.
$5. I mean, it's in good to very good condition though, so it's not in great. It's not in good, very great condition.
Here, maybe I'll just use this to something to show tonight. I'll use the Creepies. Here's Creepy 1.
There you go. Yeah, Creepies, man.
I guess people will like those. Yeah, I'll just pull these out tonight. This is
how I have all the nightmares. They got Psychos. They got Planet of the Apes number 1, of course.
Okay, that Psycho there with the monster hold. That's the one I was talking about. That's just like the Monsters Unleashed number 2 cover. Sporus Vallejo, and it's very similar.
Yes,
About the other day.
that is correct. And they do have some savage sort of Conan here.
Yeah.
It's always nice. A few savage tales too.
I have a lot of that stuff. That's cool. I see it's.
And of course, Scream. Several issues of Scream. I have the Spanish version of this particular issue, Scream number 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Spanish language version. Now this is an interesting one. The Spectacular Spider-Man number 1 magazine, 1968. And
I have that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought it would. It's in very good condition. It's only at $6.50 right now.
Well, that just didn't sell. That's it was 2 issues. Yeah, there's the other one.
Yeah, there's the here. Yeah, now this one's at $12.86, appreciably more for issue number 2.
It's got Green Goblin. It's it was too expensive for kids to buy back then.
Can you believe this? They got one Terror Tales, number 6, in fine minus condition, with only $1 bid on it.
Yeah,
what's wrong with this world?
That stuff has never been in demand, and I guess lately it's in demand with a few of us, but I don't know how much of I mean,
well, I tell you, Gratu, some of the issues fetch a high price. You know, I just sold a particularly infamous copy in very good shape. It wasn't even really that good for, I think it was $90. So
what was on the cover?
It's the one of the guy, the creature that's eating the vampire women. He's he's like munching on them.
Yeah, I just showed that in the last episode. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a valuable issue.
Yeah, well, that one's one of the most amazing covers ever. And the other one that's great is the monster ghoul hippies with the protest signs.
Yes, I've got that one. I still have it.
I've got that somewhere, but it's not with the other Eerie magazines. It's in some box here.
And I love that one. That is such a great cover. Unfortunately,
they're like signs that say "stamp out violence" and stuff.
Yeah, right. And they've got weird number 8.
Yeah, I don't have that one. No.
Yeah, but this is later though. This is 1974.
Yeah,
and they were way into the cobbling at this point. So you know,
yeah.
I mean, it had lost its luster.
It's still better than after the UPC code came along, and then when they, at a certain point, they started not having, when the heads were ripped off, like gears and bolts would come out instead of blood. They were trying to say everyone's a robot, so if they're ripping each other apart, it's not really like you're ripping apart muscle and blood and sinew. They're all just robots, you know.
Yes, I just wanted to show people that in the chat in case they were interested, because there are some good deals to be had there. You know, if you're missing certain things in your collection, they're pretty reasonable, you know.
Yeah, let's see. Weird number 1 is probably the most expensive Eerie Publications key since the first one.
And that's a good one too, yeah. And it's so funny because he didn't even finish that issue. So, I mean, the cover of it. You can look at the cover and you can see where stuff is still not even detailed out on it. It's funny. Yeah. It's the Frankenstein guy. He's rampaging down the street, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a great one. I still have that one. I've got at least 15 or 20 of those suckers left. So.
Yeah, I just did an episode that I showed all of them last episode, and then at the beginning of this episode. What's the actual title? Weird, just Weird alone, or it's Weird what?
No, it's just Weird.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, Eerie Publications Weird.
Right. I'm trying to find it here. A lot of comics named Weird. Weird this, weird that. Shit. I'm looking on mycomicshop.com is what I'm trying to do.
I think he's got some in there. And you're right. A lot of the issues are, they're like $10, $20 maybe. There's only a few that are really sought after.
Yeah.
But I would say probably, at least in the range of creepy and eerie, same type of deal, because you can get a lot of creepies and eerie's relatively cheaply, and especially like early issues, single digit issues.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of my hunting days are over. I unless I'm doing it mail order, I'm not going to just be finding stuff around here.
Yeah.
And I don't have the money for it anyway, but I've got a lot of stuff to read that I've never read. It's just funny that Dredge Report has all that shit about what they're doing to Trump, and CNN is just like, what the Fed's rate hike means for you. It's like,
Yeah.
Right. It's just, I don't know what exactly happened to the Dredge Report. I guess he sold it.
Yes.
He's definitely not in charge, but it's still got his name on it. Why would you sell something with your name on it?
Well, the check has a certain amount of, zero.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because the guy was a kind of an opportunist.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, I would kind of call him a classic kind of, I don't know, kind of a sleazy reporter. I mean, even though he uncovered a lot of stuff that, the left didn't want to have uncovered, to his credit.
Yeah, he was mainly the Monica Lewinsky guy, but he wore the little hat like he was a reporter in a 1940s movie. It was really kind of nerdy, but it was where I'd always go. One of my first hits on the internet when I'd get online, I trusted him for links to news, and I still look at it, even though I know it's completely compromised now.
Oh, it's gone. It's over.
Yeah.
It's actually become pretty much like a rhino left wing type of rag.
Yeah. Oh boy. Did you see that when I was showing the paintings earlier?
Oh, I missed that.
Oh, I was showing a bunch of paintings that I've done over the years.
Oh, cool.
Some that I'm trying to get rid of because they're like paintings of this old girlfriend. That's not something I want. But I thought maybe someone wants them. But I've done some. Anyway, what I'm basically trying to do is like, hey, does anyone want to buy these paintings or trade for them so I can get them out of my garage? Because it's not really cool to have them in around here. Or commission, maybe someone will commission me to do some art because.
Well, some guy in the chat wanted to do that.
Right. Yeah. So I put my email out. So this is one I showed earlier of Vampira.
Oh, very good. Now is that acrylic?
It's acrylic paint with oil. When I experimented with oil paint, I'm too impatient and it all just turns gray.
Yeah, I never could get into oil myself.
There's
God damn, it's really good. Very well done, man.
So I was just showing these. These are ones I don't really want to sell. I did these about 12 years ago.
And so on a typical painting like those, how long would it take you approximately?
Just maybe 4 or 5 hours. I mean, I would knock these out in a day.
Well, okay. Yeah.
Probably. Maybe if you keep going back and trying to retouch, then you wind up messing it up.
Yes, that is true.
The one I did for Gotham City Comics, the Garbage Pail Kids versus Madballs comic cover, I started in the morning and maybe like during 3-4 hour Alex Jones broadcast, I finished it. And then I did the back cover. And the back cover I finished the next day. But let me see here. Are you going on the Four Color Fossils show?
It appears not. I did not get a link from him, so I don't think so.
All right. Let me see.
I'm kind of the distant backup there. Oh, hey, the graphic man is on.
Yeah, he's in the chat. He just said hi to you. He may have just forgotten. Let's see.
Well,
it's full at the moment.
Yeah, there you go.
Many collectors are biased against the magazine format. Well, yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah,
to me, the magazines were just as exciting, if not more, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I wonder who's coming on.
They're great, though. What's really great about those is that, especially early on with Eerie Publications, they were great because you could get reprints of pre-code horror, comics cheap. Back in the day, back in the 70s and 80s, Jesus, you could pick up those issues for 50 cents in a box.
You talking about the Marvel color ones?
No, the Eerie Publications stuff.
No, but they're not. I wouldn't consider them true representations of pre-code horror, aren't they?
Well, they are. Some of them are literal. I mean, they literally reprinted these stories in black and white.
It seems like a lot of them have at least like wash over. They've added some tones, or they've added sideburns, or longer hair.
Yeah. Well, there were the redraws, Gratu, which they tried to make them look modern, but some they didn't even bother. They just reprinted them as they were.
Did they have access to the original art?
I'm assuming so because, for instance, Stanley Morris did his, like Chilling Tales, and remember those, the Stanley Morris magazines that came out. He did Chilling Tales, and I can't remember the other names of the other ones with those kind of bad covers, but it was. But those were Stanley Morris's. He owned those, so he just reprinted them.
When was this? What time period?
60s, 70s. I can bring it up if you want.
Do you have any like real close to you? I'm doing two things at once. That's why I'm acting like, huh? What? I'm texting my wife about dinner. Light bulb just went out.
I'll just find them.
Are they easily findable? I don't know. Oh, Shannon is an awesome dude.
They're easy, man.
Huh?
They're easy.
Easy.
Here's a great one right here. I'm gonna put it in the.
What are you saying? Easy? What do you mean?
No, they're easy to find.
Oh, I thought you were saying like easy. Go easy on me. The art was changed. I thought you were mad at someone in the chat. The art was changed on many Eerie Pubs mags reprints to gore it up. Yeah. You gotta watch the last episode before this. I've done like 3 episodes today.
Oh God, man, you've been on for a while. Okay, I'm gonna put it. Oh yeah, I got to do this.
So I've been flipping through, and it's like I think that maybe this knife going into this person's cheek was added and was not in the original.
Oh, I see.
But I don't know. I think there's in some of these. There's about 4 different Eerie Publications hardcover books.
Yeah.
One is an index, and I'm pretty sure they tell you where the original stuff appeared. Okay, let's see what you got. Oh, I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a book.
Chilling Tales from Stanley Publication. It's a magazine.
Oh,
yeah.
I've never seen that.
August 1969, Stanley Publications. It was Stanley Morse, and he was milking his pre-code comics. The ones he literally own those, the publishing house.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, is that about what they go for? About 15? How many of these?
Yeah, they're not that expensive. I would say between 10 and $30 typically.
Yeah, I've never seen those ever.
And look, I mean, this is directly
Oh
from.
yes, I know. I see. I recognize that. I think I recognize that Ghoul Tales. I might have one of those
Oh, wait a
publications.
second. Sorry about that. It
What?
just crap.
What?
Maybe I can. Nope, I can't do that either.
You can't make it
I'm gonna,
bigger.
I'm gonna have to go out. I'm gonna have to kill this screen
That's right.
and then share this other one. Here we go. Now this was Shock, and you can see that now. There's a Bernard Bailey cover that was originally from Weird Tales of the Future in the early
Yeah.
1950s.
So yeah, this is cool. This is cool that this existed. Just another Warren imitation using the stuff.
Yeah, I can.
Warren.
Matter of fact, give me a second. I can show you an issue. I think they were pretty good. Yeah, that is. Yeah.
It was Erie number 2.
Here we go.
Yeah, Michael Dodd is saying they're much scarcer than Erie publications, which means they're pretty scarce.
Yeah, so here's that issue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it out.
Oh, cool.
I can show you
the
inner.
You.
So there it is, and they did a good job. I mean, it's not as good. Obviously, it's nowhere near as good as the original comic book. Coloring and so forth. But
is there coloring in that?
No, I mean the cover.
The coloring of the cover.
Right. You can see. I mean, they just they just didn't take too much time with it. But if we take a look on the inside, we have, like, for instance, the Witch's Curse. You may recall that one.
No, they misspelled witches, but
yeah, that's verbatim.
Yeah,
that is the actual, from the original pre-code.
Well, I mean, they didn't really misspell witches. I should say, the apostrophe, the punctuation is incorrect.
Bad punctuation, Stanley.
Punctuation, yeah. Apostrophe should be after that.
But so yeah, here's a classic. Now, the artist is on the tip of my tongue. Here we go. Yeah, Eternal Death. You may recognize that. But
I don't know. It looks a little familiar, but
yeah, it could be Jack Katz. But
you're the expert on that stuff.
The thing is that I am sure if you look at that, it's very clean, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks, so I would assume, and I don't know this for sure, but I would assume that Stanley Morris just kept the original art.
That is definitely from the original art, or a stat of the original art.
Here we go. I just love Mr. Mystery.
Yeah.
And this story, The Gossips, is one of my favorite pre-code stories. It's about the three old ladies that spread gossip around town about people, and they, like a girl kills herself because she's shunned by her family because of the gossip.
Wow.
and everything. And at the end, though, they get their just due. You see right there. That is now that is some gruesome stuff right there.
Now, is that literally from a pre-code?
Literally.
Oh boy.
Literally. Yep. That is the original art.
I think it was more the imitators of EC that got EC in trouble more than what they did themselves.
Yeah.
Because people tried to push the limit to outdo EC, but without the quality writing. So they wound up with something that really had no redeeming value. EC had redeeming value in the quality writing and the quality art. But if you put out an EC imitation and the art's not as good, look at that.
Yeah, Pilot's chronograph watch there, $12.95.
I was amused at the Erie publication ads, which I was looking at in the last episode. I mean, yeah, that's very much like Erie Publications. Clearly, he realized what was going on and realized I've got this old artwork, and these people are just reprinting the old stories, or in the case of Warren, they're doing new versions of these old stories with the old artist. I might as well get into this. What else did Stanley do publishing around that time period? Was he doing dirty magazines or anything?
The only stuff I'm aware of are the his pre-code reprints. Now, the thing is that he had all of these on hand, so it was real easy just to simply reprint them. And I don't know. I mean, if he was doing anything else in the pre-code era, he probably was doing some crime. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he had some crime comics, because I swear I've seen some of these, like, later 60s, early 70s crime magazines.
Yeah. Who was the company? Was it, didn't Erie Publications put out a crime comic?
Yes, they did.
And didn't it have like a red hot poker going like right between the woman's legs, like about to be?
Yeah, hold on.
Because they pushed the limits on doing crime reprints, and that cover to me is as extreme as anything on the horror. In fact, worse. Because it's involving something that could happen in real life. You're not going to see a werewolf tearing off a vampire woman's head all the time in real life, but some crazy person could do that to someone.
You know what? Yeah, I'm not sure where they are. Okay. So
you have those
years ago, Gratu, somebody that was connected to Erie Publications made prints from some of those gruesome covers without all of the titling and stuff. It was just the art.
Okay.
And so they were selling them, and I've got some of those, and one of them is a crime print from their Erie Publications crime magazine. It's pretty gruesome. It's like the guy's buried up to his head, and they're shooting him in the head, and his eyes are flying out of his head and stuff.
Don't you think if you took those prints you have and made new copies of them and sold them, don't you think there'd be some money in that?
I don't know.
I'd be interested.
Yeah, it's possible. They're not. I guess they're kind of rare, I suppose. You don't see them anywhere. I know. You gotta. I'm gonna have to dig them out, and on a later show, because I know they're buried somewhere.
Okay.
I'll have to show them to you, so you get the gist of what I'm talking. They're not huge. They're only like, I would say they're like 14 by 17s or something like that at most.
Okay, so there was another crime comic called Crime Machine, but I think that was Skywald, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
But yeah, I think he did. I think Morris, obviously he was capitalizing on the stuff he had. I'm glad he did it. Because I think he did a decent job. in reprinting those comics, you know. And
Yeah, that's just that. I just never see that magazine. I don't think.
yeah, they're well. I tell you, they're on eBay. It depends on the condition and stuff, as I was saying, but they're just once again they're not. They're kind of like Erie publications, you know. They're
Yeah,
generally just not that expensive, uh,
yeah.
unless they're. I guess unless they're like in near mint condition or something, you know.
Something like that's never going to be found in near mint condition unless it was never left the
True.
publishing house. Because the type
That is
people that buy that shit are not normal. They're like Ed Gein. They're like
thanks,
they're like
Katsu.
they're like car mechanics or they're like guys that
Or mass murder.
killers. I mean, they're really that's not bought by normal people at all.
You know, I've got the. Okay, I showed you that issue of Monster World, didn't I? Did I? Oh, here, check it out. before we bow out, I got to show this to you because it's pretty good. It's pretty good, man. Oh, here. There. Now I got some. Yeah, this is so great, man. I love the Goon. I'm telling you, I just love the Goon.
Yeah, I bought a few issues of that, but I don't think I continued. Not that I disliked it. It's just I don't buy new comics enough to really follow things. That was
Yeah.
at least, wasn't that about 15, 20 years when the Goon came out?
Yes, it was. You're right.
It's a long time ago. I remember it looking so innovative on the newsstand. It's like, this looks really cool. Like a adult version of Popeye or something.
Once again, oh, I know what I did. You see, I kind of thought, yeah, okay, this will interest you, no doubt, because we were just talking about condition the magazine.
Yeah.
Now take a look at this bad boy.
Yeah.
Now tell me what condition you think that's in.
Hold on. Hold it up like that for a little bit.
Nice. Well done.
What condition is that? That looks like it was never distributed to me.
Right. Yeah, that's
It's one of
exactly.
those
Now,
warehouse. There were warehouse. Yeah, look at that.
there is. Yeah, look at that.
That's
Adam
why Warren's stuff
family.
is. If there weren't all those warehouse finds, and in fact, I think that was in Overstreet, in one of the older Overstreets. They said there have been warehouse finds of this issue, and when it's so common in mint condition, they warn you in the Overstreet guide, which is something I don't think anyone else does. That
Right.
Hey, there's a lot of good copies of this.
There's a couple of things you can see the mark along here.
Yeah, which could have
Yeah.
happened in the warehouse.
Right, exactly. Oh, that's exactly what happened. And if you look really closely, there's a slight ding on the top. You can
Don't
see it
blame
right in
Yeah.
here somewhere. But otherwise, it's in phenomenal shape. Okay.
Yeah.
I would, I'd call it definitely very fine.
Hey, you want to do a live stream? Do you have Netflix?
See that?
Do you have Netflix?
Really good.
Yeah, it's great.
My
friend Randy has a one sheet of that Bride of the Monster poster. I'm very envious of it.
Nice. I went into an antique mall a few years ago in North Carolina, Gratu, and I bought this for $1.
Yeah, weren't you saying that on that live stream before I came on?
Yes,
I was listening. I heard all the beginning part. Yeah.
I thought I showed.
Yeah, that's insanity
and
to get that
at
for
the same
$1.
time, this one for $1.
What number is that?
This is number 10.
Let's see if I got that here.
It's a beauty. I love the cover, and it's a gray Moro cover, of course.
Here's Erie 2.
Yeah, Erie 2.
I know I've got Erie 10. Let's see.
I'll tell you, the Erie 1 ash can.
I've got a date stamp on mine, May 10th.
Has gone through the roof.
The what has gone to the roof?
The Erie 1 ash can.
Oh yeah.
Good
Oh yeah.
God,
I mean,
man. I mean, this was just from a few years ago, Gratu. I saw a guy selling one on eBay for $800, like I would say 4 years ago. That thing is now, you can't, I mean, in decent condition, they're well over $1,500. I mean, they've just like
yeah.
zoomed
Well,
through the
it's not
freaking roof.
something I'll ever have. Didn't they do a second printing of it?
I think they did 4 printings. There, and you can tell by the colors of the staples. Apparently, there's like a blue staple printing. There's a silver staple. There may be a white staple printing, something like that. But I would love to get my hands on any of them. Good Lord. However, it is rather expensive.
Trying to negotiate with my wife what she wants me to get food wise
Yeah.
for the 4-color fossils
Yeah,
show.
you're coming on. You're going on that show in like 30 minutes, Gotcha.
Yeah, but everything is like all the restaurants are within 2 or 3 blocks of here, so I can still pull this off. And I used to go on 4-color fossils. I'd always go on about half an hour late. Erie 1, but I'm not intending to do that tonight. Erie 1 ash can is usually on $2.
Wow. Yeah, $2,000. I am not surprised, Michael.
And it's the cover's original, but are the insides like reprinted from Creepy or what? I don't know what's inside.
Well, okay. I'm actually not sure what's inside either. I don't know what stories are. I know there's a Frazetta story inside there. I've never actually seen one. I know they're selling on eBay. I have seen facsimile copies. That's probably what I'm going to end up buying, is a facsimile, just to see how it was actually done.
Yeah, I mean, and then I wouldn't be spending all that money when it's very possible you're getting something fake. I just discovered last night, just by happenstance, that maybe I should pull that an issue of Foom that I have. You know what Foom is? It's really the first appearance of the new X-Men.
Yeah.
Before Giant Size X-Men #1. And I've got that issue, and that's selling for a couple of grand. I think it's right over. Yeah, it's over here. That'll be something I could show on tonight's show, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. That would be great.
Oh boy, what is it? Oh goddamn motherfucking son of a bitch! Why is it that some? Why is it if you're picking up a box of Mad magazines that's equally full with another box and it's Playboy, that the Playboy box weighs 600 pounds more? In this case, it's a box of fanzines, but this feels like it's 3 times as heavy. I guess it's the weight of the paper.
Probably.
Thickness of the paper.
Yeah.
Why? What is the? I don't understand the.
Some of those fanzines, man. They used like how do you say it? Like cardstock covers and stuff.
Maybe that's it. I just this is a fan.
Oh, look at
got
that!
All kinds
That
of
is
fanzines in here.
Now
I was going through this box on 4-color fossils, and I remember you were on the stream because you talked about some book, and I pulled it right out, and you said that was the one. Let me see the condition, because this doesn't look too bad. This
there it is.
It's got a little tear there. I mean, this was mailed in the mail without any packaging. There's the address that I was living at.
Jeez.
Right. Oh, this is when I was still in San Antonio. Yeah, Portrait Court, San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, so this is important. It's the first appearance. I guess it's the third appearance of Wolverine and the first appearance of the new X-Men.
And some of the other Foom issues go for hundreds. There are some.
I don't have the real early ones that Steranko production work on. But anyway, some I think that Night Tiger was talking about how a box of new comics like 1990s are much heavier than like Silver Age comics. And
Yes.
I do know that, you pick up some boxes and it's like, shit, this is fucking heavy. I should take it and just stand on the scale with it, and then with the other box, and then subtract my incredible weight from it, and see what the difference in the weight of these boxes are.
Yes.
So yeah, that's another thing I can show on the show tonight. Flip through that book because I saw it selling for a couple of grand last night on mycomicshop.com, and I try to point these things. I need to. Some people think about their wives and they write notes on the back of the backing board. This is valuable. It's like in case something, because she's 13 years younger than me, and she is going to get rid of this stuff. She needs to know that issue of film is important. I don't know. Okay, shit. Let me see what. Okay, I'm just texting my wife. She looks like maybe we're going to Dairy Sweet here in a little bit. Are you into Morrissey, or is that you like?
Yeah,
that?
Morrissey's great, man.
Oh, okay. There's a painting I did of Morrissey.
Oh, very cool.
I'm not. I
like
I'm not really a fan necessarily. I don't know enough about him, but this girl that I was interested in 12 years ago liked him, so I did this for her. Now I'm trying to get rid of it, and maybe some Morrissey fan will pay thousands. They won't pay thousands, but maybe someone will pay something for this.
He also Morrissey is universally hated by the left now.
I know, that's why that was explained to me 12 years ago, and then I thought, well, maybe I should like this guy, but I just can't. This music is just too. I don't know. I mean, he's up, but I like that he hates everybody. That's great. He hates England. He hates what England's become, and so I'm sure he's all right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Okay. Yeah. So you're going to be watching the Four Color Fossils here in a second?
I will be watching from afar.
Okay. Well, I mean, if people drop off, and go to sleep early. You should.
Well, I'm gonna start drinking though, so I may come on in a drunken stupor. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, hey, remember
what I was going to say earlier is I was asking if you have net house. We ought to do a drunk live stream. I know some of the Four Color Fossils are recovered from that, so maybe I shouldn't suggest that. But I always thought that would be funny. I've seen live streams like Red Letter Media. They're reviewing movies and they're drinking.
Yeah.
And I know what was there are a couple of horror.
Also, the
movies where the DVD commentaries, they're drinking while they're watching it. Was it the South Park guys maybe? And I'm pretty sure my friend Tom Renoni, who worked on he's on the commentary track of Return of the Living Dead Part 3. I think it's 3. The one with that's the one with the guy from Adam 12 in it.
Yes.
He's on there, and I think he's drinking while the girl, the zombie girl that comes back.
Yes.
In the movie they're together doing the commentary, and it's just like he's like Joe Biden. He keeps trying to pick her up during the commentary. You gotta listen. It's funny as hell.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
He's like hitting on her like big time, and you can just tell they're drinking. And it's I always thought that was the great thing about DVD. Someone said you don't really need to go to film school anymore. You can just listen to DVD director's commentary, and you can learn all kinds of stuff.
If I get on the Four Color Fossils brought to, I'll make sure I've been drinking, and then I'll bring out my Rare Hustler magazine. How about that?
Well, what I was suggesting, if you have Netflix, that next week, after I think it's on the same day the Munsters and the Addams Family Wednesday show premiere. If you watch those, and you know, and I watch those, and maybe later that night or the next day, we could do a stream
a
where
live
we
drinking
do
show.
commentary. We do commentary on it. You know, whether or not drinking or not. I think that would be
I would
fun.
be totally into that. I'd be.
Yeah, I don't know.
will
I think
endeavor.
I think it's like the 27th. There's some interesting stuff coming to
Oh, okay.
coming to there. Like there's an I don't know if it's theatrical or if it's on one of these streaming services. All Quiet on the Western Front. There's that, and which
Oh
will be
God, they're
ultra
going to make them
gore.
all. What are they going
And
to make them all transgendered Hawaiians?
oh, I don't know, but there's also a Marilyn Monroe movie coming to Netflix that was apparently supposed to offend everyone. It's not. It's like basically X-rated. It's what do you call it? NC-17.
Wow.
And the actress looks exactly like Marilyn Monroe. I mean, exactly. It looks like real footage of her, but
Whoa.
they're doing unbelievable. I mean, it sounds like it's beyond bad taste. So that might be something.
That's Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Let's see.
God, Netflix is getting a little.
Well, I hear they do shit like show an abortion from inside of her. It's like I don't know, like having they go insane. It's like an abortion from the point of view of the baby or something. I don't know. It's like nuts. It's like whoever made that movie's decided they're going to piss off. It's part of Marxism because Marilyn, like, what royalty do we have here in this country? We have John Wayne, we have Marilyn Monroe. It's like we have these movie stars that are icons that, you know, but if you drag her down and show her having sex and being raped and having an abortion, well, you brought down some of the American royalty, and then you can knock down the statues of this Jefferson, Robert E. Lee, whoever. And,
I'm
like,
sure
what else do the Americaners have? You know,
I'm sure they're going to drag Kennedy through the mud.
Oh, they've got a guy that looks exactly like Kennedy that apparently played in that movie with what's her face, Anne Frank, Star Wars, Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. Yeah.
I know all the people she plays, but she played Jackie Kennedy in a movie with some guy that looks, I think he's Swedish. He looks exactly like JFK, and of course they're going to have her giving him a blowjob, and I don't know how much they're going to show, but you know, and of course he's part of our royalty too. So drag Kennedy down, you know.
Of course they
so
will.
That's really what it is. And Netflix is one of the biggest problems. They did that movie with the girls a couple of years ago twerking and everything. They're horrible. They're all, and they're owned by Obama or no, Obama had a series. He partly owns. I don't know. It's all part of the same shit.
Yeah, isn't Netflix? They're the ones that gave Obama his own show.
Yeah, and I think he's a big investor in it or something. So it's all part of the whole. Yeah, it's all part of the big problems.
Yeah. All right. Well, look.
Yeah, I'm gonna run and go get the food real quick, and I'll see you later on. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, I'll see you at the show.
All right, take care.
All right, man.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys. I'm gonna go grab some corn dogs and some other State Fair kind of food at the Tasty Freeze kind of place, and I'll be back, and I will appear on Graphic Man's incredible channel. I might be a couple minutes late. I'll try not to be. Or maybe I'll eat the corn dogs on the air. That'll be very good manners. Okay, I'll see you guys. Take care in broadcast.